Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we're here to discuss the top 10 overrated badges in NBA 2K20. Now with that in mind, keep in mind what the title actually means. Overrated does not mean bad, it just means worse than what people perceive it as. So, like I said, keep in mind for this video, it's top 10 overrated, not worst badges. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of people like to get that mixed up. Some of these are top 5 badges per their category. Like for instance, there's like, you know, a really good finishing badge in here, a really good shooting badge, and then some decent ones in here. But anyway, moving along, here's what we're gonna do with this vid. I'm gonna go ahead and display the finishing, shooting, playmaking, and defense. I'm not gonna tell you in what order they are though, and then we're gonna rank them from 1 to 10. So we have deep hooks, relentless finisher, and if you guys disagree with any of this stuff, feel free to let me know, drop a comment, all that stuff. But like for instance, for an overrated one, we got green machine, where it's a really good badge still, but it's very perceived to be way better than it really is by a lot of people. So anyway, and then you got deep fades, difficult shots. Then for playmaking, we have 1 badge and it's break starter. And then for defense, we have 4 and it's interceptor, rebound chaser, post move lockdown, and moving truck. So like I said, if you have any disagreements with this, feel free to let me know, drop a comment, tell me what you would put at number 1 instead, or at like, you know, or just in general what you would put for like what I've shown you so far. But anyway, without further ado, we're gonna get straight into this. If y'all enjoy this, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Also, one last thing too before we get started. I'm going back into the video and putting this in the intro, and I just want y'all to understand the reason that some of these badges are higher than others is because of the public perception that the community has, and it's like that versus how good the badge actually is. So for instance, we got some that are on the lower end that aren't really seen as that good in the community in the first place, and I still think like I would agree with that. So basically that's why they're on the low end. On the high end is badges that I feel like are widely known as good in the community, and I feel like they are overrated in that aspect. So again, understand that's what the topic of this video is. It's not saying that badges are trash, it's just saying that their placement is overrated in my opinion. Alright, so coming in number 1, we got green machine. Now this is the true definition of an overrated badge in my opinion. It's still a really good one. It's probably the best badge that I even put on this list, but it's vastly overrated by everybody who uses this. And you know, there's a lot of people who preach that this is like really useful and really OP. In my opinion, it's really overrated. You have to green 2 threes just for it to start even, you know, even working, where you can even still green without it in the first place. And I just feel like I would rather have boost like toward my open jump shots or contested ones, for instance like Deadeye and things like that. Obviously you got your little 3 right here that stay on no matter what. You got hot zone 100, range extender, and quick draw. But I feel like things like Deadeye are better than Green Machine, and this is where, you know, that's the difference. A lot of people think Green Machine is way better than Deadeye. Some people even use it higher than Hot Zone 100, which I don't understand at all. But anyway, I hope y'all understand what I'm getting at with this video. Overrated is the definition of this. So coming to number 2, we got Interceptor. Now this one is the opposite of Green Machine in my opinion. They're both overrated, but Green Machine is still good. Interceptor is overrated, and I think it's trash. Now, like I said, this is my opinion. With that is going to come a lot of disagreement between me and the viewer, which is you. So feel free to just let me know what you think about this list as well. Obviously, I'm open to any feedback. But the thing about Interceptor, in my opinion, a lot of people kind of misinterpret this for wingspan. I feel like wingspan is literally just what makes good passing lanes and good interceptions. Now, don't be wrong, this badge helps you sort of like catch the passing lanes instead of like dropping it, but I've seen so many people not use this badge. It's all about placement and timing of the steal. It's all about wingspan, and honestly steal rating comes into play as well. I have a pure lock with 99 steal and max wingspan, and that thing be going crazy, and I don't use Interceptor. I get auto passing lane steals, and I just feel like a lot of people constantly value this, whether it's on YouTube or in my comments, or you know, just any like casual player. When I look at their player card, will have Interceptor if they're in like Team Pro-Am and stuff like that. Now I understand it maybe from the aspect of Pro-Am or Rec, because it's harder to get on-ball steals and you have to deal with foul problems, and you would want this to be valued more in your own mind. But honestly, like I said, I feel like it all comes down to wingspan, steal, and just, you know, like height even as well. But anyway, moving along, number 3, we got deep hooks. So I'm gonna go ahead and reveal number 4 too, which is deep fades. So deep hooks and deep fades, we'll talk about these jointed together and just kind of put them into one. These things, honestly bro, here's my thing. They're effective badges, I understand. They still do their job, and they definitely work. But bro, like to value these as really good badges, I just don't see it, because you can do hooks and fades from literally like 2 feet away, and they are the most effective, non-contestable thing in the game. I know y'all have ran into the post scorers that literally just do post fades from 2 feet away. I even played one in Puma on day 1 with like the double rep, and they're so annoying and so impossible to stop, and I just don't see why you would do a deep one in the first place. And not to mention too, with, you know, where I'm gonna put one of these next badges, it's not that hard to get deep into the post. Like, you don't really, it's not too hard to back anybody down, even if you have in the slightest like back down punisher. But anyway, to wrap things up on that, like I said, deep hooks coming in at number 3, and then we have deep fades coming in at number 4. So with these offensive ones comes the defense as well. So at number 5 and 6, I have moving truck and post move lockdown. Now, here's my thing about moving truck. I feel like this one is vastly overrated, and this one is a little bit less right here with the post move lockdown. But moving truck, here's my thing on it. I go for a lot more chair pulls, and I feel like that's the best way to go about getting back down in the post. I feel like to counter the back down punisher is to just try to get chair pulls. If somebody's trying to aggressively back you down, promise you, if you pull the chair, you can do it properly. If anybody doesn't know how to do that, you just spam left stick toward the hoop or away from your defender, also known as. But anyway, like I said, moving truck, it's just not that functional in the first place either if you do try to resist getting back down. I've seen my homies with like 99 strength and Hall of Fame moving truck and they're still over here getting straight back down like it's nothing. You know, those crazy back down animations where you literally move like 5 feet with one push. But anyway, y'all get what I'm saying. Moving truck, vastly overrated in my opinion, but it's still like reasonable to have. I feel like the thing with deep hooks and deep fades, my thing was they're still pretty good badges, but they're just so non-usable. Like I said, what's the point of even taking a deep hook or deep fade when the close one is like even more OP? I just don't really get it. So anyway, moving along, number 6, like we were talking about, post move lockdown comes in at this spot. Now this is the part in the list where you're gonna see some of these badges start having more effectiveness, and like I said, as we keep on moving down to number 7, number 8, 9, 10, it's gonna become more and more effective of a badge. But anyway, like I said, post move lockdown, in my opinion, just not really like the best use, but it does help you stop the drop steps and the post spins a little bit. But in my opinion, the best way to counter a post spin is just don't hug up tight, and I feel like you should be going for chair pulls anyway when anybody's trying to get anywhere in the post on you. But I don't know, I guess that's just my opinion too. Let me know if you disagree with this. I feel like a lot of people may, and honestly, just in terms of like using your badge points on this, whether you're playing 3s or 2s, the only time I would recommend to even put this badge on in the first place would be 1v1. Same with moving truck, that's where their value just gets decreased a little bit because the use of their badge is only used on really like 1v1 court and sometimes 2s. But I just feel like you can get away with this easy, not having these badges on 2s. Even if you're playing a post scorer, like I said, the counter with moving truck is just literally go for chair pulls, and same with the post move lockdown. The counter to drop steps is literally just keep on using pogo stick and keep jumping. Like that's how I see it. Nobody should ever be drop stepping you in 2K20 unless they're literally like 6 or 8 inches taller than you. That's how I see it. And even at 6 inches, it's still like, honestly, me being 6'9" and the people I'm defending being 7'3" half the time, I'm not worried about anybody drop stepping me because I just use pogo stick and just keep on jumping. Now don't be wrong, I got good vert, I got good block, all that stuff, good intimidator, interior defense, all that. But again, just that's a good counter to not using post move lockdown. Alright, yo, so at number 7, I got break starter. Now this is the part of the video where honestly I forgot to do this in the intro, and I'm probably gonna go back, make a cut, and just explain this in the intro. But there's certain badges that aren't really even seen as overrated by anybody in the community, so that's why I have this lower on the list where, you know, nobody thinks break starter is a game-changing badge like Green Machine, so that's why this is lower. But again, this badge not really needed by anybody except for 7'3" bigs or anybody that has like literally 40 pass accuracy. So as long as you got decent pass accuracy, you don't need this badge in the slightest. Honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't even help me at all, but I can't really tell the difference because I can make every single outlet pass in like rec or like team pro-am, or even in like, you know, 3v3 especially, with ease too, and no problem at all. So again, that's why this badge is lower on the list. Like I said, there's 3 different things that weigh into this. There's effectiveness, the actual perception that like a badge has in like the community, and then also like the availability of the badge on the court. So again, one thing that weighs break starter down to be an overrated badge as well is the fact that it doesn't even work in the 2v2. So just keep all that in mind. I'm gonna go back in the intro and explain that so y'all understand it, because I can understand there'd be a lot of like misunderstanding in that. But anyway, so coming in number 8, we got Relentless Finisher. Now the thing about this badge, it's still a good one to have, and I never take it off bronze, so keep that in mind. But the like, you know, I gassed this up myself. I used to use this on Hall of Fame and just would never do anything but, and I was like, yo, you gotta use this on Hall of Fame. But honestly, like I said, I gassed that up way too much. I apologize for that throughout the year of like 2K, and I feel like Again, you don't really need this any higher than bronze. On 2v2 and 3v3 especially. If you're on the 1v1 court, I would maybe recommend to put this a little higher. Same with like Team Pro-Am and stuff like that. You'd probably want this a little bit higher, but just from the functionality of like 2s and 3s, I feel like, you know, that's what really creates the overratedness of this badge. Anyway, coming in number 9, we have Rebound Chaser. Again, this is one that I feel like the only reason you would really need this badge is if you're like a 7'3" big man, where if your physicals aren't very good, that's what weighs it down. If you have good physicals like 80 plus speed and 80 plus vert at like 6'8" or 6'9", I feel like you're good. You don't really need this badge. Same with if you're a guard that has like good physicals with the speed and vert. Again, another reason why I don't think you need this badge. If you have good physicals flat out, you don't need this in my opinion. But the reason that it's not higher on the list is because, like I said, I understand a lot of 7'3s need this badge at a high level because they have such horrible physicals, and they need this to be able to track down rebounds. So anyway, coming in number 10, we got difficult shots. This is like I said, this is where we're kind of stretching for that 10 spot, and difficult shots is still a good badge to have. The reason I have it as overrated is because a lot of people who use this badge use it wrong. Honestly, it doesn't help you that much with the off dribble middies because I feel like you can still hit those easy without difficult shots. You can still hit those super like close off dribble mids too, even if you time like a late and an early anyway. So again, this badge is not really, you know, needed, but if you do play like Ticino where you take them like hop jumpers and try to shoot off those, then that's where this badge is very useful. But I've seen people even do that without difficult shots. So just keep in mind, like I said, it's a bit overrated in my opinion, but it's still understandable to use this if you like, you know, value that style of play as well. And that's why it's coming in number 10. It's a very far, you know, it was almost not on this list. I'm gonna put it like that. So anyway, other than that, that's all for the vid. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. If you made it to the end of the video, put badge in the comments just to show your support that you made it all the way through. But anyway, other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed. If we could get this to like 500 likes in the first 24 hours, I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.